My father passed in 2007, about 15 years ago. But I was thinking today, in light of this gospel, about knowing your father's voice, that I can still hear his voice as clearly today. And those of you whose parents are deceased, I've never asked people, but I would imagine your whole life you can remember your mother's voice or your father's voice very clearly. And that's really, what Jesus is about in tonight's gospel and about in his whole life is helping us try to know God's voice our whole life, just as we know our parents' voice. And he gives us this, this analogy of sheep, which we know well. But the problem is we don't spend a lot of time around sheep anymore, so it can be a little difficult, perhaps, to pick up on this analogy. But I was blessed in my Jesuit formation to spend my long retreat, part of my Jesuit formation in Spain, in a country, in the hill country, the Basque country, where there are a lot of shepherds. And I was intrigued to watch them each day and the way their sheep knew their voice. But what I didn't realize is that there are days when the sheep mix. Different pastors are out there, different shepherds, and the sheep will sometimes mix, and they'll stand and they're all calling their sheep at the same time, perhaps. And it's very interesting because from a distance you're saying, well, who's calling who? And the sheep know exactly where to go. Little by little, they make their way. They know that voice. And I like that image because I think it sort of suits our world. As children, all our life, we're hearing different voices, right? We're hearing different voices on the playground. In high school, we're hearing different voices tell us who we need to be. In college, we have different voices, both within and without, telling us maybe what we need to do with our life. As we go older, we have different voices telling us what career to choose or who to marry, what political party to follow, how to vote, who to hate, who to like. And so it becomes like that sheep, that field with all those shepherds calling out. And the goal is to find amidst all those different voices, where is God? Where's God's voice in this? Where is God calling me? So how do we do that? Well, I think the gift of Ignatian spirituality is to continually help us to refine that, to understand God's voice more and more, obviously through God's voice in the scriptures, God's voice in the tradition of the Catholic Church and the teachings of the church, but also in the people around us, how God works through our family and our friends, how God works through co-workers, how God works through creation, calling us in the midst of all those perhaps confusing voices in our lives, calling us home, calling us to consolation, which, as we understand, is a deepening of faith and hope and love. So we pray this evening in this Ignatian year that we remain true to our Ignatian calling, our Ignatian spirituality, helping us discern God's voice at all times. God bless us. God give us the grace to do that.